What's good, y'all? Elvis here back in with another video. Before I even start this, I think this is going to be the most valuable video I ever made. Invaluable from the perspective of this is a video I feel like I needed coming up. I wish somebody made and communicated this information to me. But today I'm talking about how to be a high value barber. This internet word gets around fast. I know the term high value man and high value women, you know what I'm saying? All that's been thrown around a lot. The first thing I want to talk about is value is subjective. If you think you're of a high value, or you think somebody else is high value, that is a value that you specifically see. You can't necessarily communicate that to somebody that doesn't have that perception of value. So you need to understand what value is to you first off, before you even care about like pursuing whatever high value is for you. But most people, when they're talking about high value, they're thinking about, let's say, people that make a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? People with influence, stuff like that. And generally, that's consistent along like everybody's definitions of high value. Like most people wouldn't consider somebody that didn't have any kind of money or any kind of influence as high value. But I imagine when people hear high value barber, they're assuming a barber that gets paid, you know what I'm saying? At least six figures, you feel me? A barber that's making a significant amount of money above what an average barber would make. And what an average barber in the US is like, I want to say like 30K a year, something like that. It's 30K to 50K, somewhere around there, which I think is a respectable living depending on what your means are and what your goals are. But that's not what I'm talking about. But this video is about how to become a high value barber. And when I first started cutting hair, I kind of assumed, first, the more heads you cut, the more money you make. It's true to a very specific extent. When you were first starting off and you don't have that much demand, of course, the more heads you cut, the more money you make. When your demand grows to a certain level and the supply that you can, like the amount of time and energy that you can put into haircuts or the amount of haircuts you can do gets limited, then you run into a different problem. And cutting more heads does not make you more money. You have to learn to scale your business. And I've been cutting hair for like 8+ years. I've gone through many stages of that. I first started cutting hair like it was in college, and I might have made like what, somewhere between $5 and $10 for haircuts. And what I can do maybe like 2-3 a day, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I was also in college and doing a bunch of other things. But once I started leveraging my time and energy different, the supply of my time and energy decreased, but then also my demand increased. But then also, I got more efficient with my energy. The haircuts I was doing back then took what, 2 hours to do a fade. Now, shoot, I can get that done in 10 minutes if I want to. Of course, I don't have my appointments in 10-minute blocks. Now I'm a lot more precise in time and energy effective with what I do. So that also increases the amount of money you could possibly make. But I got to a place where I didn't want to spend as much time and energy cutting hair. And I cared a lot more about the interactions that was happening with people. And that was the biggest eye-opener for me, because I realized that as my demand grew, as my business developed, I got exposed to different clientele. And now it's big on social media, barbers charging like triple-digit prices for haircuts. And, occasionally, I might charge that for, let's say after hours, or sometimes people just be tipping and blessing. But I'm realizing that being a high-value barber is very subjective. And the most important factor when it comes to that is your perception of value of yourself, but then also as it extends to your clients. Because the highest paid barbers in the industry, in the world, don't get paid off of their skills, their technical skills with clippers. Of course, without that, they couldn't do business the way they do, but they get paid off of their relationships. Your relationship skills will get you paid a lot more than your technical skill with clippers. When I first started hearing things like that from, like, let's say my OGs and my mentors and stuff, it was kind of iffy to me, because I was in a place where I was learning a bunch of different skills as far as, let's say, add-on services like spa treatments, and I was learning different skills with, let's say, shears and a bunch of different tricks with clippers, just to become what I consider a better barber. But I realized while I value a lot of those skills, my clients don't even have that perception of value to even appreciate those skills. Most clients will be your client not specifically off of how you cut your hair, but your relationship with them. There's many clients that go to a barber, and they'll go to a barber for years just off of the convenience, but then they find a barber that they like who might not even cut to the same degree, but they love the interaction a lot more than the other person they were going to. And now they give their business over here. Clients don't have the same artistic vision when they're looking at haircuts as barbers do. A barber will look at a haircut and be like, oh, well, that's a $100 haircut. Oh, that might be a $30 haircut. Clients don't see things like that. Clients see things through the lens of their relationship and the energy being exchanged. While there's some clients that do appreciate the artistic detail in what you're doing, like, that's not the thing that makes people tip you. That's not the thing that makes them recommend you to other people. While somebody might be like, oh, this person can do a haircut, the people that they really want to recommend are the people that they have a relationship with, people that they resonate with. And I realized that putting energy into developing my relationship skills and the quality of interactions I have with people got me paid way more than anything I could have learned with clippers. Because once you get to a certain point of being able to do a great haircut, well, like let's say a haircut that other barbers can respect and appreciate, you kind of maxed out your ability to the average person. Like they can't see your haircuts get better over time realistically. They might notice subtle details here. They might notice that your process is more tightened, and you know, you might have more demand and you just look more successful. But that's not the thing that makes clients want to pay you more. Really high paid barbers, like let's say Steve Harvey's barber. He was paying like at least $1,000 for a haircut, every haircut. That's not because he cuts his hair a very specific way. That's because of the relationship he has with his barber. When you want to see somebody grow, you feel invested in their journey and you want to give more, because that's almost always a reciprocal relationship. Like I have clients that I was cutting way back when in my dorm. I was maybe charging $10. Some of them go graduate, go do their own thing, come back, and they want to pay after hour prices, like triple digit prices. But that's not because of what I specifically do with clippers. It's because we built a relationship where we're invested in each other's growth. And on my side as a barber, the thing that I did to promote that was to first off grow my relationship with myself, and then that affected my relationships with other people. My client retention is crazy high, but a lot of my clients might come once or twice a year. They have other barbers that they go to for like, let's say, some maintenance or whatever. But when they have a special occasion or they want to like just chop it up with me, they'll come and then they'll pay my price, tip me more than likely. And my price is already way above average. Like my base rate for a haircut is $70, but people pay $70 and then tip me. But a lot of times when I recommend them to other barbers who I think are debatably at my level, if not better as far as skill set, they'll go there and they'll maybe just pay their price and maybe just tip a little bit extra, even if it's like less than half of my price. But people spend money not on the haircuts, but the interaction. It's similar to going out to eat. People order pasta at restaurants all the time. Keep in mind, pasta's kind of simple to make. You can make pasta at home, put your own things in it, season it to your own taste or whatever. But the reason that people go to a restaurant is the environment, the interaction with the server, the ambiance. There's a lot of subjective, sentimental value associated with it. People will spend $100 going out to eat, eating a plate of pasta, not doing anything crazy, because they value the interaction with the server. They value the experience around the food. They're not even paying for the food. It is very similar when it comes to cutting hair, because like when you're first starting, you're gonna have a lot of clients that are more pressed about trying to get a very specific service. You know what I mean? Like someone like this, people that value haircuts just at base level, like, oh, I'm paying to get my hair shorter. But those are people that I consider customers. They're not that invested in their relationship with you. They're just trying to get the product, which is the haircut. And that's fine, keep them in your business as long as they still fit into your policies and everything. But the people that are going to pay you the most are going to be the people that are legitimately your clients, that are invested in your journey, invested in you. So to become a high value barber, you got to understand the value that you specifically provide within yourself, and then find clients that value it at that level, if not more. I have people that come in maybe once or twice a year for a glorified shape up. You know what I'm saying? Just a little taper on the side or something. They'll pay more than my full haircut price, sometimes double, just because they value the interaction. But also, most of that is only possible because I'm the kind of person who I leave everything on the field. You feel me? Like even if a client comes in and I can't do exactly what's in their head, I leave it all on the field. I try my best to be generous with my energy and everything. And that promotes generous relationships with my clients. It's not even about the money. Like the value that we trade back and forth is more than monetary. I say 99% of the people that sit in my chair are people that I would consider friends if we hung out outside the chair at least once. You know what I'm saying? But we mesh as far as personalities, interests, and because I'm a person who prioritizes my own growth and trying to progress in whatever ventures I'm in, that attracts people that are similar. And then when we interact, we're trying to grow each other. If I have an opportunity that makes sense for my client that's going to progress them in whatever their direction is, I put them on. And it's vice versa for them. So whenever they have friends and their friends are looking for barbers, because I'm basically friends with my clients and they're friends with their friends, they're like, oh, you know what? Oh, you need someone to cut your hair that's also a vibe? Like, fuck the haircut. He's just cool people. You should go to my barber. Now, me and that client's friend have built a relationship because that recommendation with that level of energy investment carries a lot more weight than somebody just recommending somebody who's just good at cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? Becoming a high value barber starts with you. It's not like you can go and cut somebody who has a lot of money and they're just gonna value your service and your interaction at that level. Like, I talk to barbers regularly and a lot of times they're like, oh, I need to start cutting doctors, lawyers, celebrities to like start making more money, start charge high ticket prices. And that's super backwards. People will spend money on the things that they value. If they value a authentic, generous, energetic interaction with people, they're going to pay more money for that. I got high school kids trying to pay my full price. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of wild. You could spend that money on anything, but you value the interaction with me. That means a lot over here, but that all started with me investing a bunch of time and energy within myself, and that attracts people that do a similar thing. I've realized you only can retain clientele that is at your level. That has to do with your wealth consciousness. That has to do with your relationship with yourself. Back when I was the kind of person who wanted a bunch of deals and discounts and hookups and blah, 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 I had a bunch of clients that could give me hookups, but they were clients that expected hookups. You feel me? And sometimes that feels worth it. Let's say a free cut for a hookup over here, you know what I'm saying? I might be saving money short term, but long term, we're doing each other dirty. People that are really invested in your journey don't want cheaper prices. People that really value you and your time and your energy, your resources, are going to want to put more value in your pocket. Whether that's monetary, or it could just be recommending other clients, or it could be recommending opportunities, resources, things like that. People that really value you aren't trying to get discounts. And I'd be telling people, like, I'd much rather give a free cut over a discount, because when you give somebody a discount, now you effectively lowered the value of your service, your interaction to this respected person. I got friends and family that refuse to cut their hair because they don't value my time and my energy. And I can make a lot more money now cutting a lot less hair because I've prioritized, first off, my own growth and my own building my own value. Because I do that for myself, self-love is what we reflect outwards. I have a lot of people that sit in my chair and they're, I talk to them and whatever, and they're like, and they're real chatty, you know what I'm saying? We're here vibing and kikiing and a bunch of stuff. And they're like, oh, bro, I'm actually not a people person, but you just kind of opened me up because you were just, like, we know each other, like we're familiar. And I'm like, I think that shit is really beautiful. Because I'm the kind of person where vibe is everything to me. Like, I don't care if you cut my hair the best I ever got my hair cut. If the vibe is off, nigga, that was a terrible haircut. Like, that was an awful experience. I don't want to be back. I'm very perceptive about energy. So, like, when clients sit down, it's the energy that I give is like, oh, well, how are we cutting our hair today? Because I'm invested in this. I'm invested in the interaction. I'm invested in myself. I'm invested in the people I'm spending my time and energy around, because those are my most valuable resources. Bro, a bunch of my clients, back when I was cutting in college, when I was really ass, there was a few people that, man, it was just, I did the haircut, and it might have been a decent haircut for what they wanted, but I knew in my heart, I'm like, damn, bro, I really I feel like I fumbled in the sense of, like, I really could have snapped here, but it's like I really dropped the ball. And there was a few times where I was like, hey, bro, come back. Like, let me give you a free cut. Let me just do it over, because I didn't feel good about you leaving like that. Even though they were cool. But that turned a lot of people that were low-key just customers. A lot of those people were just, like, let's say customers they're like, oh, well, his haircut's adequate, I guess, whatever. And they weren't super pressed about coming back. They might have still came back. But the fact that I showed that, oh, I'm actually invested in this art, I'm invested in this interaction, I'm trying to be the best I possibly can in any capacity. I'm trying to improve in any way I can. Like, this is more than just a haircut to me. That turned up from a customer into a client, and then basically my friend. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those people pay my full prices now. The price was less than a fourth of the price back then. Investing in yourself builds the value that you see within yourself, and that will reflect with other people. Investing in your space, investing in your tools, investing in your mindset. As I grew my wealth consciousness, I attracted a bunch of clients that have a higher wealth consciousness. And people with a higher wealth consciousness tend to have more money and then spend those things on the things that they value. You feel me? and then they go to try to accrue more value and really concentrate and grow that. So me becoming what I consider high value attracted a bunch of high value clients. And now I guess by association, I'm a high value barber. But being a high value barber to my clients doesn't mean I'm a high value barber to just people on the street. They might see a haircut and been like, oh, well, I don't understand why you're charging that much. But it's a good haircut. There's a lot of people walking past the window. There's a lot of people that see my haircuts and they're like, wow, that's really fire, but I would never pay more than $20 for a haircut. And that's their right. They value a service at that level. And it's funny now, but a lot of my clients right now, like we used to talk about, oh, bro, like back when I was charging maybe 15, maybe 20, they're like, like, I love the haircuts, bro. I rock with you, but I don't know if I'll ever pay more than $30 for a haircut. And now they pay more than double that price. At that time, they knew exactly what a haircut was worth to them, but they didn't know what a high value interaction with a barber would have been worth to them. So don't base what you think your value is off of what people say, because it all starts with you, and then you'll attract people that are on the same level. And a lot of the people that you will attract might be the people that you know now, but it'll be a different version of them in the future. You feel me? Because most of the people that come and get a haircut, they just know the haircut's gonna be fire, but they come for the interaction because they know that whatever we talk about is gonna be more valuable than the haircut. And on my side, I'm super blessed because, like, while it's nice that I charge a high ticket for my haircuts, like that's not even the thing that I feel like pays me the most. When I talk to my clients, it's like God consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Like every time somebody sits in my chair, we have a conversation that I feel like God needed to, like, they're telling me something I feel like God needed to tell me. Whether I'm going through something, I need a little bit of perspective, maybe I need a resource, maybe the new vision I'm building for myself needs a little piece, a little perspective from that I don't have internally right now. People that sit in my chair, because we're similar people on the same wavelength, people that are growing towards a certain trajectory, whatever the goal is. Like some of my clients, they're big into sports. Some of them are athletes. Some of them are engineers. Some of them are like lawyers. Some of them are like doctors working in the medical field. Most of them are artists and business people. But as I grew the value within myself, and the time, and let's say my time and energy became more and more valuable for myself, it became more and more valuable for people on the similar wavelength, the people that had a perception of that value. It's not really about your haircut skill to become high value and to get paid more. Of course, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you slack on building your skill, you probably gonna slack on building your business acumen. You gonna slack on personal development things. Like, you would not believe how many clients I get off of just being a dude that works out. I might be doing some workout stuff on Instagram or something, and they're like, wow, we're similar people. We're trying to progress and become the best version of ourselves. So they already know the conversation, the vibe is gonna be higher level, higher value than the barbers that they're used to going to, where they're just talking about, oh, baby mama trouble and so and this and that and bills, and no shade, but it's a lower consciousness. But yeah, bro, being a high value barber starts with you, and then it extends to the people that have that perception of value. So one thing I can't stand about TikTok, a bunch of people with too much time and too much energy to blow on some bullshit. I always feel like they gotta give their opinion about something. And there's always somebody about like, oh, I would never pay this much for a haircut. If you're the kind of person that even feels like you gotta say that on the internet, you're not spending energy in the way that you value realistically. You feel me? And you can't fault people for that, because there was a time when I was that kind of person, you know what I'm saying? But everything is subjective. You cannot successfully sell your value to somebody that does not see it. I appreciate y'all watching. That's all I got for today. But if you haven't already followed me, follow your boy on Instagram as well as TikTok at Cuts by Elvis and at Better Barbering. Y'all be prosperous, grow your value, deal with people that see that value, and don't waste your time trying to appease people with a lower consciousness, a lower perception of value. If you bring yourself down to their level, you're cheating yourself long term, you're cheating yourself and you're cheating them realistically. But until next time, craft over clout, I'm out.